Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
आज की विजय ऐतिहासिक है। मोदी की गारंटी वाली इस गाड़ी के आगे आगे चलना है। इन परिणामों की गूंज दूर तक जाएगी। सुधर जाइए, वरना जनता आपको चुन चुन करके साफ कर देगी। आज की इस हैट्रिक ने 24 की हैट्रिक की गारंटी दे दी है।
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's a series of fireworks that's happening on Dalal Street as traders, investors, equity strategists, fund managers and the retail investor enjoy this very, very sharp bounce. The gap up on the Nifty. At the moment, the index is up 386 points, 20,654. Of course, this is a fresh record high. And guess what? Who's joining the party? The Bank Nifty. Remember, if you were with us in the morning, the index today at the moment is up 3.5%, 46,203. And it's a record high here as well as far as markets are concerned. The momentum across the board after BJP's stunning electoral victory is resounding all across the Dalal Street, and it's a very, very exciting day to be with Sakshi on Market Today at Business Today Television. Sakshi, what are the stocks that you're watching? I am actually so glued into indices. There are two that have risen more than 3%, which is the Nifty PSU Banking Index and the Nifty Bank. There are three indices which are up more than 2.5%, which is the Realty Index, the Energy Index and the Financial Services Index, and I have lost count the number of times and the number of indices that are up more than 1% and between 2%. It's a great, glorious day for Indian equities.
Absolutely, Shail. And look at the stocks that are higher. And on the Nifty, it's Adani Enterprises as the top mover, 7.2% higher, leading the entire Adani pack up in trade today. Of course, the 12.5 lakh crore rupees market cap crossing after January 31st for the first time. Eicher Motors, I mean, stunning move over there too, 7% higher. And this is despite the slightly muted sales that came in for the month of November, or slightly below expectations is what I should say. And look at the kind of move that we are looking at on Eicher Motors. It's been a one-way up move. Of course, record run continues on this counter as well. Of course, the oil and gas majors, they surprise us too. BPCL, HPCL, after last week's stunning move, these counters are again moving 5%, 4% each in trade today. And ONGC, of course, the banking counters are joining the party. ICICI Bank, of course, these big heavyweight banking counters had not really participated as much. They are now actually going to be participating, and with them the markets are only poised to even more move higher from here.
So let's look at, as you flagged the banks, actually let's look at the index heavyweights. These are the ones that are pulling up the Nifty much higher. Remember, the index is up 1.9% at the moment at about 20,655. You've mentioned ICICI Bank. This is the biggest contributor to the index, contributing about 65 points. HDFC Bank up 3.2%, 1,604, a 54-point contribution to the Nifty. L&T and Reliance up about 1.8 and 4% respectively, have contributed 22 and 38 points to the index gain, and of course State Bank of India. It's the elephants, Sakshi, that are dancing on the Lal Street, and this was more or less expected, because now you will see it's the Nifty that will play catch up to the mid cap and the small cap indices. As you would recollect, viewers, the mid cap Nifty rose about 11% in the month of November, and it's taken 11 months, actually 12 months, for the Nifty to rack up those kind of gains. So there's a lot of catch up to be played by the Nifty as far as coming at par with the mid cap and the small cap space is concerned. Of course, that will happen in a bit while, but that's what the market is betting on, that fresh money, and mostly from foreign institutional investors, will now come on relatively inexpensive and cheaper priced blue chips rather than mid cap and small caps. But for the moment, Sakshi, the party is across the board. You've mentioned a lot of stocks that have gained substantially. I'll just add the texture to it by pointing out stocks within the Nifty that have hit record highs as far as today's trade is concerned. And would you believe it, the list is actually quite long. I have 4 plus 4 plus 4. 16 stocks have hit fresh highs. You mentioned Eicher Motors. I'll add L&T 3318 up 4%. Ultratech Cement 2.85% higher, 92.91. NTPC we've discussed often. Bajaj Auto has changed a digit. Now it's 6,170 up 2%. Bharti Airtel, M&M, SBI Life, Grasim, Axis Bank, Tata Consumer and Titan. Remember, if you just plug in the sectors in your mind, you will see the frontline counters of those sectors hitting fresh record highs. NTPC from power, Bajaj Auto from the two-wheeler space, Bharti Airtel from telecom, M&M from the tractor four-wheeler space, SBI Life Insurance from insurance, Grasim is a holding company, Axis Bank from the banking sector, Tata Consumer, FMCG. Sakshi, what a day.
Absolutely. It's been a stunning day, and let's welcome our guest on the show then. Nilesh Jain now joins in, AVP Technical Research at Centrum Broking, to share with us, how he's really looking at the markets at record high levels. Welcome, Nilesh. What a day to have you with us. I remember you were talking about just 2 weeks back that 20,000 is coming, and we are at 20,652 already. How would you look at the Nifty, and how would you now look at the Nifty Bank also, which is now participating in this run-up?
Very good afternoon to you, Sakshi, Shailendra, and all the viewers. It's a fantastic start for the December series. On Friday, we saw a big breakout when Nifty hit an all-time high mark. And today, we have seen a breakaway gap with a big gap up opening. And good part is that the rally is very much participated and led by banking space. So Bank Nifty, which is started little late, but I think Bank Nifty should lead the rally from here on, and it is shy away from hitting all-time high mark. I won't be surprised if today itself we see Bank Nifty hitting all-time high. So overall structure looks very positive, and from here I think specifically watch out for banking space, heavyweights counter like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, all these counters are looking positive. From PSU banking space, watch out for State Bank of India. So all these counters which have been laggard so far now have started joining the rally. I think the party is not yet over. It will continue. Bank Nifty, we are eyeing for 47,000 mark. For the Nifty, we expect Nifty to move towards 20,800. And then I would be surprised if Nifty hits 21,000 mark in the December series itself. So overall, it's a buy and decline now.
Amazing. So 21,000 in December, which Sakshi is just a blink away. We are already at 20,600 and 20,655 as we speak. And I'd just like to point out an early morning options trade that we had highlighted. I'll request the PCR to fire the 45,800 Bank Nifty call, which ends on December 6th. Remember, it was the Nifty that opened gap up, and after that it was the Bank Nifty that started to rally, and we had picked up this call somewhere in the vicinity of 125, 150, 155 rupees. At the moment, ladies and gentlemen, hold your breath. It's at 639 rupees. So that's how you trap options on your side. You just chase momentum for a while. Of course, this trade is long over, but the point I'm trying to make is that a lot of option strategists have now caught the momentum in the rally, which is now in its 5th day. And if you listen to what Nilesh Bhai is saying, these are better days ahead. Of course, we'll have to play it from the monthly option side, but it's the weekly options that are really booming and giving a lot of gains on the long side. Now remember, December 6th is when this option ends, but I just wanted to point it out that we caught it really early as far as markets are concerned. Nilesh, coming back to you, one or two stocks that are chirping on the charts that might give better than market returns for our viewers. What is looking good to you on technicals?
So right, as you mentioned at the beginning as well, that the banking are leading from the front today. So we are watching out for banking, specifically heavyweight counters, HDFC Bank. After a long time, we have seen this particular counter giving breakout from a consolidation, and there was a gap down opening in the month of September. So that gap area is likely to get filled going forward. So from current level, we still feel that there will be another 2 to 3% quick move we might see in next 1 or 2 trading sessions. So the upside is open for 1630, then 1660. So these are the two targets for HDFC Bank, and these are the spot levels. Stop loss should be placed below 1580. So that's the first stock that we are liking from the banking space that is looking positive. And apart from that, Patanjali, I think it's at its circuit today, so let's avoid this counter. From Realty Pack, we are liking Godrej Properties. So this particular counter has been moving in a high top and high bottom formation. The structure looks strong. Realty space as a whole looks strong. So Godrej Properties upside is open for 1950. That should be the first target, followed by 1980. That's the second target. Stop loss should be placed below 1890.
Okay. Nilesh, can you look at the top mover on the F&O space, Torrent Pharma, 11.5% higher in trade. What is behind this stunning move, and do you see this rally continuing now?
Right. So overall, pharmaceutical space, Torrent Pharma, in last couple of trading sessions, we have seen a high top and high bottom formation. And structure-wise, it is looking strong. It has surpassed 2100 mark, and it has also given a big rounding bottom pattern breakout. So upside is open, but little position view has to be taken in this particular counter, given the fact that it has been one of the volatile counter. So the upside is open for 2200, then 2250 would be the second target. Stop loss should be placed below 2100 on the closing basis, because that was the breakout level. So 2100 on the closing basis should be the stop loss.
Okay, got that. Can you also look at the entire oil and gas space that has been buzzing and tell us your favorite counter from the space? I mean, HPCL up 8.5% higher in trade, Oil India 6%, BPCL 6%, GAIL 5% higher, ONGC up 5% higher, Indian Oil up 4.5%. The entire space is buzzing. And this is one of the sectors that hardly moves such as, in togetherness, and all the stocks moving about 5-6%, 8% higher on an intraday basis. How would you look at this momentum?
So Sakshi, on your channel itself, we recommended BPCL in the range of 380, 390, and we have seen a big move in that particular counter as well. So that counter we also recommended to our client as well. So we still feel that BPCL has a potential to move towards 480, 500 sort of figure, and it has a good dividend yield as well. So after this vertical run-up that we have seen in all the OMC stock, it is not advisable to go aggressive long. Rather, one should wait for some decline or add in a staggered manner. OMC stocks, the rally has just started. I think there will be another up move in BPCL towards 500, and another favorite counter within this space is IOC. So IOC also looks positive of 122 to 125, but ideal buying range would be 110 to 112, and stop loss should be placed below 106.
Okay. This is as far as individual stock picking is concerned, Sakshi. We'll get back to the index now at a fresh intraday high, 20,600 in front of me. This is something that I'd like to pitch to you, Nilesh bhai. We are looking at the 20,600 call for Nifty. This is, of course, the weekly call which is going to expire on December 7th. The price that I see is 170 rupees. Given the strength that you see in the index and the fact that it is broken its early morning peak, Is this something that you would suggest as a high risk trade? It's already up 4x.
Right, sir. So if you look at the overall structure for the Nifty post gap up opening, the good part is that it has sustained that particular gap. So there will be another follow-up move that we might see in the coming session, that's tomorrow. So that is very much likely. So 162, that's a high risk trade. One can keep a stop loss below 120, and upside target could be 200 on immediate basis. Then 250 would be the second target. And I would say out of the money call can also be looked at, that is 20,700, that is trading at 98 rupees. So for a low risk traders at 98 rupees, one can buy 20,700 call as well, keeping stop loss below 70, and upside target would be 130, that would be the first target, and 160 would be the second target.
Okay, this is the call that's coming on the option trade that we had also picked early morning. So actually what we'll do is, let's look at the NSE 500. The point I'm trying to make is that ever since morning when the gap up happened for about 300 points, the Nifty as well as the broader markets have retained that bullish fervor. There's no selling. In fact, whatever additional gains that are coming are on short covering, which means that bears are now on a back foot. This is the NSE 500 in front of you, fresh record high, 1.8% higher, 18,432. I'd just like to point out the advance decline ratios on the index as well. In the broader markets, about 18 stocks, 1,418 stocks are in the green and about 620 that are in the red. It's the PSU banking index which is showing a rally of close to 4%, and all 12 stocks in the Nifty PSU banking index are up in the green, led by the State Bank of India. Of course, Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank, these are stocks that we've been talking out for a while, but it's the big boys that are dancing today, and that's how the markets are. Within your PSU basket, Nilesh, what would be your favorite stock?
So my favorite still remains State Bank of India. Now, multiple reasons. The stock is coming out from a consolidation zone, and it has been one of the underperformer as well. So we have seen good run up in the counters like Canara Bank, Bank India, and other PSU stocks, whereas State Bank of India underperformed. But now, today, again, we have seen a good breakaway gap in this particular counter. One can buy this counter at current level as well, because it has a potential to move towards 610 on immediate basis and 630 slight position target. So if somebody is buying currently, then stop loss should be placed below 580. That's the gap of breakaway gap today that we saw. So 580 should be the stop loss. 610, 630 and 650 are the targets for the State Bank of India.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's also talk about some more stocks in the second rung PSU banks. What would you pick? A lot of other stocks are moving up, especially in the Nifty 500 basket. Stocks like Central Bank of India, they're up by almost 8% in trade today. Many others are also flying away from the second rung PSU banks. You know, Indian Bank, Union Bank of India. You know, how would you look at these second rung PSU banks? Is there a case in point that you can once again take this fresh chase and chase this momentum? You know, stocks like Indian Overseas Bank, for example, Bank of Maharashtra. How would you look at these stocks now?
So overall, looking at the move today that we saw in overall PSU banking basket, I think this is likely to be a sustainable move, and we might see a follow-up move in all the PSU stocks. But it is advisable to stick to the quality names. So the quality names that we are liking: State Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank. So these are the good quality names one can stick to. And second run PSU banks, as you mentioned, Indian Overseas Bank, that can be bought keeping strict stop loss, because given the volatility that in this particular counter, one has to keep a strict stop loss below 39.50 for the upside target of 43 and 45. So this counter is also looking positive. Apart from that, Bank of India, where we have seen a fresh breakout in today's trading session as well. So that can also be bought keeping strict stop loss below 105 for the upside target of 113 and 150.
Okay, since this is a day of patting oneself on one's back, let me just point out two other trades that we had pointed out in the FNO space late last week. They were on Bank of Baroda when the stock was climbing around 200 rupees. Remember, the at the money call for 200 rupees at that point of time is now deep in the money, and with the bank at about 208, 209, that call is doing fantastically well. 13 rupees, and we had picked it up somewhere like 4-5 rupees. So that is showing a substantial uptick. As also the Canara Bank 400 rupee call, again ending December 28th, that was picked up somewhere like 15-16 rupees and is now in the vicinity of sub 40. So that's how momentum is tracked as well as trapped in your favor. Look at sectors, look at stocks that are doing phenomenally well, and it's the short covering that is now forcing the bears on the back foot in the PSU banking sector, in the private banking sector, and as of course Bank Nifty. Remember, Bank Nifty is back to its great days when it comes to momentum. Sakshi, you remember while we were discussing it in the morning, it was up 800 points and I had told you that you'll see a 4-digit gain.
Yes.
Well, it's the 4-digit gain is now 1431 points, as you see, 46 to 50. So that's how momentum is tracked. Even if you had caught it after an 800 point rise, you still would have seen a 500 point range. So this is a range expansion that's happening in the market, which is a precursor of better and faster and more gains ahead. Of course, you will have bouts of profit booking, but remember, a fresh new era has started on Indian bull market. Sakshi.
That's wonderful. And with the Nifty Bank, and you were pointing out several of the private banking majors that are contributing very well to this 3% surge that we are seeing right now at 46,243. So Nilesh, why don't you pick out your top favorites, and how would you choose between, say, an ICICI Bank and an HDFC Bank now, which looks better on the charts?
So Sakshi, we have already discussed about HDFC Bank, so that's in my buy recommendation list. Given the fact that we have seen a lot of consolidation and underperformance in this particular counter, I think now is the time for HDFC Bank to lead the Bank Nifty from the front and move towards 1650. That's our target that we are expecting on immediate basis, followed by 1700 plus sort of target. We might see little position point of view. So HDFC Bank still continues to remain a preferred bet given the good risk and reward at current level. So it can be bought currently as well. And apart from that, ICICI Bank, yes, structure is also looking positive for ICICI Bank as well. After a run up of 4%, I would advise to wait for some decline towards 970, 975. Then it can be bought for further upside move to continue towards 1000 plus. So it is trading almost near to its all-time high, whereas HDFC Bank is still available at corrected level. We have seen all-time high mark of 1750, and currently it is somewhere around 1600. So it is better to buy HDFC Bank rather buying ICICI Bank.
Fair enough. Nilesh, what we'll do is we'll quickly take a very, very short break, and when we return, we will continue to discuss more stock ideas with you. So stay with us.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Welcome back. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I'm Sakshi, and with me is Shail Bhatnagar. Also with us is Nilesh Jain, AVP Technical Research of Centrum Broking. Nilesh, we've been discussing a flurry of stocks. To add to those lists, I want to now take your view on Eicher Motors. After 7% surge at record levels, would you still be a buyer on Eicher?
We have seen a good run up in Eicher Motor. It is trading at all-time high mark. So after a run up of more than 7-8%, I think it's not advisable to chase this counter at current level. Rather wait for some meaningful dip, and any decline could be a good opportunity to get into this particular counter given the fact that it has given a good breakout in today's trading session. So I would rather wait for decline and dip, and then probably it can be bought for another 5 to 10% move. Currently, it is trading somewhere around 4173. The upside is open for 4400. So that's the position target. But ideal buying range would be somewhere near about 4100. And post then the stop loss can be kept below 4000 for the upside move to continue towards 4400.
Well, this is the first move as far as iShares is concerned into record high territory, and it's accompanied, Sakshi, by a 24 lakh share volume today. Remember, this volume is the highest since July of this year, and when it was in July, it was on a declining trend. That means the stock had fallen. But today, the same volume is on an uptrend. With this, Nilesh bhai, thank you so much for your time. And of course, we look forward to your participation again in the shows ahead. We'll remember the wonderful call on ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank. Thank you very much. Okay. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll again shift gears, and our next guest would be Sudeep Shah, again from the world of derivatives and futures, simply because that's where the top action is, and that's where the top action that you catch. Of course, it's a bit difficult to try and pick out trades at record high levels. The Nifty is gathering fresh steam, Sakshi. At the moment, 20,663, up 400 points, and 1460 points higher on the Nifty Bank, 46,275. Sudeep Shah joins us from SBI Securities. He heads the derivatives team at the wonderful brokerage. Hello, Sudeep. What a day to be greeting each other on the Lal Street. How has your office rejoiced this gap up on the Nifty, especially the Nifty Bank? It's got its mojo back. How are you looking at charts, and what are they telling you?
Good afternoon, Shailji. Absolutely, what a wonderful moment to interact. And actually, see, what has happened is in the last 4 or 5 days, we have seen the markets consolidating and breaking out. And this time, in the last 3-4 days, what we have seen is that every time there is a gap up, that is followed by there's a follow-up action on the upside. So that's normally in the last 1 month, what was happening is that all gap ups or gap downs were greeted with the opposite side moves. So this time in the last several days, we have seen that the action is quite positive. The mood is upbeat in the entire office, and even when you talk to the retail setup, when we see the clients, when we are into retail broking, we get to know the mood and momentum of the clients every half an hour, every 1 hour, whenever we speak to our advisors or to the clients also, and the mood is quite upbeat. And there's enthusiasm, there's a hope for further opportunity with the kind of political games that we've seen in the last weekend. There's a big hope. So I feel this rally could continue from the current levels also, and I feel much higher levels are awaiting us.
Okay. Sudeep, let's take some questions with you with respect to some certain stocks that have been moving in trade. Tell us first, how are you looking at the move in the PSU banking space? Your top favorite stock from the PSU bank, since that's the space that is the buzzing most in trade today.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Sakshi. Absolutely. PSU banks, see, if you see the rollovers, nothing great was there in the rollovers. But in the last 2 days, post the markets breaking out above its all-time high, we have seen additions on the long side in the PSU banking space. And what this has done is, what today's move has done is that it is right now trading at the highest levels post October 6th or 7th. So the entire 1.5 to 2 months consolidation we've witnessed a breakout out of that zone, and I feel the indexes have headed much higher up to 5,500, 5,550 levels in the next couple of sessions with a stop loss at 5,300. Because if you see the September end there was a high of 53.96 in the index, and post that we've seen a correction. But now most of this correction has been taken care of, and I feel the index is headed much higher from the current levels. And if we see the PS within that index, now if you see the top pick that I feel from the current levels one should be watching out for would be Bank of Baroda. Now, a lot of other stocks like PNB also is a very good stock, but PNB has moved up and we have seen a good action in the last few days there. So, risk reward wise, I feel now Bank of Baroda is a very good stable pick, and it's also trading above its 6th November swing highs. So, I feel from the current levels, the stock is headed up to 220, 225 on the upside. Uh, and on the downside, if we see, one can hold it with a stop loss of say 203 levels.
Fair enough. Let's take one or two more stocks then. From the private banking space, your top favorite stock, would you go ahead with HDFC or ICICI? Where would you be finding fresh, bounce that one can track?
See, Sakshi, if you analyze all these private banks now, a lot of short positions were there only. If you see the bank Nifty, it was not able to move out beyond 45,500, 45,700, and with the kind of move that we have seen today, I feel ICICI Bank is well placed to take out 1,020, 1,030 levels on the upside with the kind of strong candle that the stock has witnessed today, and with volumes and with a rise of with a rise in open interest. So I feel from the current levels, ICICI Bank is well placed to move up to 1,020, 1,030 levels. And on the downside, 965 would act as a stop loss. And even if you see HDFC Bank, or even for that matter, Kotak Bank after a long time has given a breakout. So that also should be on our radar, because that stock was facing resistance around 1800, 1790 levels, and today around 1814, 1815, the stock has broken out and it's sustaining on the upside. So I feel even that stock should be on our radar.
Right. Kotak Mahindra Bank, as very, very long-term holders of this stock, have realized that nothing much has happened over the last 3 years. Let's hope you see a very strong breakout now that the main index itself has started to move. Let's do some trend spotting, Sakshi. Now we are at 1305. The markets have still 25 minutes to go. Let's look at the rankings where you're seeing a lot of move coming in. Okay. IRCTC. We have a 10.2% rise in open interest. The stock is also up 2.9% in futures, 726.55 that I can see. Another strong move came in BEL today. 4.2% higher, of course, goes without saying that this is a fresh record high, 154.80 in futures, and it's accompanied by a 6.4% rise in open interest. One of the favorites for bulls, Canfin Homes, 828. This is accompanied by a drop in open interest. Okay, this is really interesting. Sudeep, we'd like you to look at the charts of Canfin Homes, because now this is short covering, and short covering at a time when the broader markets are roaring. Let's see if this is a record high. Not yet. Your view, Sudeep, on Canfin Homes, what's happening here?
Shall we see, this is a classic case of short covering, but I am not confident giving a buy call or going long in this stock at the current levels. Of course, after say a consolidation of more than 4 months, like post 1st of August, the stock has been trading between in this range of 720 and 790, and we have seen a breakout on Friday, followed by a follow-up action today. But from higher levels, if you see today, from the levels of 843, we have seen some correction, and stock has corrected back to 820. And it's just 0.5% or 1% positive for the day. So I would still wait for a few days. I feel there could be some consolidation at current levels, 810, 825 zone. And beyond, once the stock moves beyond 827, 828, and it closes above that level, I feel the next level that the stock could be headed up to is 860. But for that, 828 is the most crucial number on the upside.
Okay. And one more thing, as far as data is concerned, I'd like to point out, and this is how the futures volumes are stacked up, Sakshi. After, this very sharp rally on the Nifty, although this is but obvious, but I should mention this, that in terms of stock futures traded in terms of volume, it's HDFC Bank futures about 62,000 contracts, ICICI Bank futures 59,000 contracts, SBI, Reliance, Kotak, Axis, Adani Ports. It's the day of the Nifty. In fact, the first stock that is non-Nifty and is in the top traded futures list is PNB, but that's very high beta, 20,000 contracts traded there, 3.7% higher, 84.20. No other exciting name here, the usual suspects. There is a cut on Z Entertainment, 3.5% lower. Interesting. Interesting because you have a broader market rally, a stunning gap up, and here is a stock which is 3.5% lower. Your view, Sudeep, on Z Entertainment?
Shelly, if we see Z Entertainment now, what has happened is that on Friday, prior to Friday's move, the stock was in a range between 245 and 255 for a good period of 10-12 sessions. And we saw that short covering move on Friday basis some news that were there. But again, now this counter is just surrounded by a lot of news flow now. A lot of litigations and related news flows are coming, and that is the reason I feel one should not be focusing too much on this counter, even from a delivery standpoint from the current levels for the next few weeks or so, because a lot of news flow is coming. Let the news flow gets cleared. I don't mind buying anything 10-15% higher from the current levels if I have a vision of 50 to 70%, but I don't want to get stuck into a counter and just let it see consolidate when the entire market around this is roaring, like we are seeing in the current scenario. So I feel one should be skipping this stock, one should avoid this stock, and in case still someone wants to buy this, then 275 would be my trigger point. Beyond 275 only I would look to add the stock on every dip thereon. But till the time the stock does not close above 275 from here on, I feel that one should avoid it.
Okay. With this, let's also mention to all our viewers that the Nifty Bank has actually hit a record high level. It's crossed 46,411 now, and this is after I think 90 or 91 sessions that we've seen that the Nifty Bank has hit a record high level. The previous one was actually hit in July, and after that we are seeing a very, very stunning move come in. 46,375 currently. Sudeep, how would you be looking at Nifty Bank now, and what would your call be here?
Sakshi, if you see Nifty Bank now, see almost it has hit its fresh lifetime high now, above 46,400 levels. But I feel that this is just the beginning of the rally that we are eyeing at now, because a big consolidation has post this consolidation we have seen a breakout, while Nifty in the same period has put up 700, 800 points. But Bank Nifty has it's just retesting its say July highs or so. So I feel from the current levels we could see an outperformance from Bank Nifty here, because if you see ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank, HDFC Bank, all these three names, even a lot of PSU names, so IndusInd Bank, all these names are firing. So I feel from the current levels one should concentrate on Bank Nifty, and 46,000 would act as a strong support. And I feel we are headed up to levels of 46,900, 47,300 in the next few sessions.
Okay, we'll again go back to our favorite 45,800 Bank Nifty call expiring on 6th of December. Remember the last time we checked it was at 620, 630 rupees. It's now, ladies and gentlemen, above 750. In fact, it hit all-time high of 854 rupees. So like I'm repeatedly telling you, that is how you trap momentum in your favor. And the point that Sakshi made about Bank Nifty hitting a record high, the genesis of that lies, Sakshi, in the cash market. If you look at top 5 traded counters on the Nifty today, 4 of them are banks led by HDFC and ICICI Bank, respectively 3,772 crores, 2,900 crores turnover on HDFC and ICICI Bank. Axis and SBI have 1,433 and 1,395 crores in terms of daily turnover. So it's the elephants that are dancing on the Lal Street, and this is what we've been discussing with a lot of top flight CIOs, equity strategists, that from now on the rally will be led by the Nifty. We'll just take Sudeep's very quick view on what he sees the Nifty in the medium term as well, simply because there are going to be corrections from these levels, which is fine, but it is the dip that you have to purchase. Sudeep, coming back to you, what are the medium term, shorter term charts on the Nifty telling you as far as where it is headed? 2% higher, 2680 in front of you.
Shelly, if you see, Nifty is right now trading in a channel, and if you connect all these, the previous two peaks of say 19,850, 19,991, and then 20,222, the level comes somewhere around 20,550, 20,580, and index is trading much higher than that. So it is like a breakout even at higher levels. And I feel there could be a dip, say 100, 150 points. Probably any dip towards 20,500 would be a good buying opportunity. And till the time this zone of 20,400, 20,500, this gap zone holds, I feel higher levels of 20,850, 20,950 also are achievable. The simple reason because of the why it could be is because if you see Bank Nifty, as we discussed just 5 minutes back, Bank Nifty is on a tearaway rally. And Bank Nifty, along with it, would drag Nifty or would pull Nifty to higher levels. And also, if you see stocks like Bharti Airtel, Sun Pharma, even a lot of IT stocks which are not performing today, they could start performing in the next few days. Because in the US markets, the Nasdaq and all these IT index abroad, they are also doing well. So I feel it could be an all-round rally in the next few sessions, and we could head up to levels of 20,900 or so in the next 3 to 5 sessions on the upside.
Fine. Sudeep, I'll ask you to shift gears a little. Look at the top mover on the Nifty 500 basket, and that is Gujarat State Fertilizers and Chemicals. The stock is up 11% in trade today. What's behind this move, and do you see this momentum continuing?
Absolutely, Sakshi. If you see this stock was facing resistance somewhere around 195, 200 levels. Now, this was the prior peak which the stock had hit in, say, March 2022. So, post that, the stock was trading in a 120 to 190 kind of range. And after breaking out in the last few sessions, the stock has never looked back really. And I feel the zones of 185, 190 have acted as a strong buying support on every dip. So I feel today's move validates that the trend is strongly on the upside. And I feel from the current levels, also the stock can be bought with a 200 rupees stop loss and a 240 to 250 target on the upside. Now, this is a medium-term call. That's the reason the stop loss is a bit deeper. But such is the nature of the markets and such is the nature of the mid-caps in these times that you need to have a sufficient stop loss to be able to hold the stock for a decent gain.
Okay. And that's Sakshi happening across the board, you know. We've seen, you remember NIACL and GIC Ray, as also Life Insurance Corporation, which started move again. By the way, it's up above 700. We had caught it at 638. I so distinctly remember. It's the PSU space that is the darling of traders as well as investors. Lots of money is moving into these stocks, some of them via ETFs. And if ETFs get in money, obviously they have to pour that money back into such stocks. So you are seeing a lot of hectic activity. In fact, if you remember in the morning, I had pointed out that all 75 listed PSUs were in the green in the first 5-7 minutes of trade. And of course, the top gainer today is GFC. Very strong volume action. Let me give you a very interesting data on GSFC. As far as the volume is concerned, I'm sure it's a multi-month high because it's a very attractive price ticket. Yes, you've seen this volume earlier in October, the first week, and that's how it's poised, 214.25. The today's volume stands at something like 3 crore 19 lakh shares. So if you multiply that by 214 or maybe an average price of 207, you have 600 crores worth of trade on GSFC alone. Sakshi.
Absolutely. Apart from this, Sudeep, let's also look at your STBT or BTST trades. Anything that you'd be looking at now?
Actually, I would be looking at Bank of Baroda as well as National Aluminium. Now, both these stocks are looking good. Now, the first one, Bank of Baroda, because the PSU Bank index is looking very bullish, and I feel Bank of Baroda from the current levels could play a catch up, and we could see higher levels of 220, 225 in the next couple of sessions with a stop loss of 203 on the downside. Another pick which I just mentioned is Nalco. Now, National Aluminium. Now, we've seen metal stocks making a move up on the upside in the last few days, and simply because dollar index is right now trading around 103, 103.50 levels, and with the kind of risk-on atmosphere back into the markets, people metals need to have a look on. So stocks like Nalco, which have not moved much and which are now making attempts of a move. And remember, once again, we have forgotten that this is a PSU company. So people will very soon remember that this is also a PSU stock, and I feel this would make a move up to a 99 half 103 on the upside with a short term. This is short term target, and stop loss would be 94 levels on the downside.
Okay, Bank of Baroda and Nalco as the BTST trades. One more counter I'll look at where I'll take your view, and that is Cyient. 10.5% higher at 2204 currently. We have seen a stunning move on the mid-cap IT space that's widely outperformed the larger peers. But what is behind this sudden spike that we are looking at? 10%, 11% odd on Cyient, 2213 currently.
See, if you closely observe all these mid caps, now mid cap ITs, on a daily basis, at least one or two stocks are making a fresh high, medium term highs. And I feel Cyient also, it's a fantastic mid cap IT company with good track record. And at the current levels, if you see, the stock has broken out of its previous swing high above 1850, 1860 levels, which was made in September. So now I feel the stock is firmly headed up on the upside up to 2450, 2500 levels. And one can hold it with a stop loss of, say, 2150 on the downside.
Okay, let's also pay attention to a group which Sakshi points out with a lot of enthusiasm. It's, of course, the Adani Group, but the stock that I'd like to request Sudeep to take a view is Ambuja Cement. The reason why I say it is that, one, it's playing catch up with its broader rivals like Ultratech and Grasim, and the fact that, of course, it's super high beta. What are the charts saying to you, Sudeep? Up 7.5%. Is this still a good entry point, or should one stay away?
No, I feel this is a very good entry, but now the stock is very good. Just because the name is associated with this, a brand name is associated with this, and just because people were apprehensive of the Adani stocks ahead of the election results, I feel all these names, Ambuja, ACC, all were on the sidelines, and we were seeing some selling pressure. But with the kind of election results that we have seen, and now today the entire Adani group is up. So I think the best out of the group is right now ACC as well as Ambuja Cement. So that is the reason I feel from the current levels one should look at Ambuja Cements, and this no doubt about the fundamentals and about the quality of the stock. So it would really play a catch up, and beyond a point, people will be very or apprehensive of going into Ultratech Cement or some other names at higher level, Shree Cement or other JK Cement. Then obviously the next choices would be Ambuja Cements, Dalmia Bharat, Sagar Cements of the world. So I feel these names in the next few sessions could really be on the tear, and I feel they really should be looked upon at the current levels.
Okay. The other point, Sakshi, I wanted to mention was, of course, what a breakout volume that you've had today. We've seen about 1 crore 25 lakh shares traded on Ambuja Cement. And I'll request the PCR to file a longer term daily chart of Ambuja Cement. So the viewer should get a look at how sharp the gap up today was. Beyond the gap up, the stock has risen further, and it is now at days high. So this momentum is most likely to continue simply because it starts off like a rocket, and let's see how the next 2 or 3 days look at. But a word of caution, remember, this stock was at 410 just 2 weeks ago, and it's the rally that's taken the whole market by surprise, and this puts it very succinctly that over a 1 year period it's an underperformance from Ambuja Cement. Over a 2 year thing, of course, it's up 28%. All time high on this counter is above 600. I am fairly sure on that one. I'll just give you the right number. Okay, the all time high is 598, ladies and gentlemen. Still a distance to go, but again, a very good chart. Sakshi.
Absolutely, and we are just about, say, 8 minutes away from the day's close, and what a fabulous run-up has it been already. 20,693, 425 points higher on the Nifty. So the Nifty is at record levels, the Bank Nifty is at record levels, the Mid-Cap 100 is at record levels, and several sectoral indices are also up at record levels. It's a green screen on your platforms, and that you can actually see. It couldn't have been better. For sure in trade today. Sudeep, why don't you tell us, where are you getting more conviction now for a fresh run-up? Any particular stocks, any sectors where you now feel that despite the kind of rally that we've seen, we can now see a fresh run-up? Sudeep, could you unmute yourself, please?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So specifically, if we see all these sectors now, banking, I feel it's just the beginning of the trend, as we've just discussed a few minutes back. Another trend which I feel, and even the banking includes the PSU setup as well. So beyond the banking space, I feel cement, real estate, within the oil and gas space, ONGC, Oil India, again the PSU names. So I feel these names can continue doing well. Also, action visible in the defense names also. So let's not forget what has happened when the markets were in the range. Stocks like HAL, BEL, all were moving up, and they were still positive and outperforming the markets. And when the markets are now really outperforming, I feel these stocks could continue their moves on the way up. Might not outperform Nifty, but at least be in line with Nifty. And that is why I feel that all these defense names, the railway names, should be on our radar.
Okay. And while we are at 324, Sudeep, and we'll soon start wrapping up the market, I was just wondering if you have some words of sympathy for bears on Dalal Street.
That's actually one of the best questions that I have encountered in the last entire 1 year now. So actually no words for bears, because in such a markets where the markets have given us a lot of signals in the last few days that the market does not want to buckle down under pressure. If someone has shorted, then God help them. But I feel if you believe in India story, whether you are a trader or an investor, bearishness is not that. Bearishness, see, from an intraday perspective, you can anytime go long or short. That's okay. But from a positional perspective, if you are bearish with a bigger target, then I have my doubts on that.
Okay.
In fact, Shail, I was reading some tweets on Twitter, and Vijay Kedia happened to post a song like he always does on his Twitter feed, and he put a song yesterday saying, "India ko short karoge to God bhi tumhe bacha nahi payega."
Bilkul. This is an old song of his, and that's what I was referring to. So, ladies and gentlemen, while today's coverage draws to a close, this is a very important lesson that today's market, as also market over the last 1 year, is teaching us that there is little or nothing to be had if you go short on markets at these levels. You are welcome not to participate, but this is not something that you should even think of romancing on the short side. It's a very, very strong bull market of a high degree of character and color, and perhaps it has gone better and stronger between what was yesterday and today morning. And if you notice, the gap up of today morning has been built upon by both the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. This points to a pent up of demand which is coming tomorrow. So it's at your own peril, financially as well as mentally, if you go short on this kind of a market. The Nifty, of course, is now up 422 points. Remember, it opened 300 points higher. It's added 1 percentage point above that. the Nifty Bank had opened 900 points higher, and while Sakshi and I have been discussing, it's added between 400 to 500 points over the last 1 hour. Both these indices are closing at days high, fresh record highs, and that is something that both bulls will notice as well as bears will notice, because again short covering will come in and you'll see the market scaling fresh record highs. If you haven't participated as yet, the best day is today. Please buy a simple equity diversified fund. Please buy a flexi cap fund and invest for the long term. This is no longer a trading market, it's a buy and hold kind of a market where you make supernormal returns. Sakshi.
Absolutely. Let's wind down the market for you. Then 4 indices at record highs, and those are benchmarks for you. Sensex up 2%, Nifty up 2%, mid caps up 1.4%, and the Nifty Bank up 3.6%. All of them up in trade. The Nifty Bank has crossed the earlier high of 46,369 that it had hit on July 21st. All the Nifty Bank constituents are in the green. HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank contributing over 60% to the Nifty Bank's gains. Nifty Bank is now set for the biggest single day gain since April of 2022.
Yeah.
And the Sensex and the Nifty are poised for a single biggest day gain since October of 2022 as well. So those are the key points that I wanted to mention. As far as the Nifty Bank is concerned, HDFC Bank contributing 623 points to Nifty Bank, ICICI Bank contributing 459 points, Kotak Bank contributing 149 points, and SBI contributing 133 points to this upside. Overall on the Nifty, it's HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, L&T, Kotak Mahindra and Reliance Industries that are contributing, the biggest contributors on the Nifty index as well. As we close down the index, you will see on the Nifty, barring about 6 names that are in the red, rest of them are all in the green. In the F&O space, Torrent Pharma, HPCL, Ambuja Cement, Eicher Motors as the top movers in trade. On the Nifty 500 space, it's GSFC, Cyient, Adani Green, HPCL, Central Bank of India and HEG as the top movers as well. So that's as far as the market closing action for you is concerned. And we're closing at record levels as well as far as all of these benchmarks are concerned. With that, we will wrap up this very, very stunning session of trade that we have witnessed today. And most of the experts still believe that there is much more to go, even more from here as well, at least until the Lok Sabha elections are concerned. And we will continue to track every day's momentum. So be with us on Business Today.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.